Hey guys, what's up? Sora here, back with another Shadowverse video, and today we are taking a look at my favorite class in the entire game, Shadowcraft. So, I'm starting off with a relatively common deck that's going around right now, which is Arcus Shadow. Arcus Shadow was already very strong during Brigade of the Sky, and with only really additions to its deck that were introduced in Omen of the 10, this deck just got even stronger, really. The very least, it's probably a safe bet to say that this deck is currently month 1 top tier. Whether after that month it will change, it remains to be seen until people figure out the counters and all that, but this deck just does some ridiculous tempo. So since there's a lot of new cards that were introduced during Omen of 10 that are here, let me go through them. First and foremost is one of the new legendaries of the set, Cerb, Sound of Hades. Probably one of the best 5 play point spells out there for Shadow, and even in Unlimited, this is pretty high up there in terms of power level, and that's because she creates a board by herself. She's kind of like a mini Arthur, but these two Hellhounds even have last words effects attached to them, where they deal 2 damage to the enemy leader, giving you more reach, as well as restoring 2 defense to your leader, which allows you to survive, kind of like the, for example, Puppet Portal, right? Like the ping damage, you recover some of that. So super strong. What makes it busted right now is Charon. Charon is very strong. She requires an Evo to be really strong, but even just as a 5/6 play point, she already has Fanfare that essentially tutors a Cerberus from your deck into your hand. When you do have an Evolve point and 5 Necromancy, you can then make Cerberus' cost 0. So on turn 6, you play Charon, a 5/5, and then you play Cerberus, getting Mimi and, what's the other dog's name? Mimi and Coco again, leaving you with a big board state on turn 6. So very strong just between these two. Ortrus Hellhound is also very strong. Before, we were forced to use Stygian Warden to kind of get rid of very powerful threats on turn 4. She is a decent substitute for that, where she is a 4-drop 4/3 that has Necromancy 3, deal 4 damage to an enemy follower. That's also really strong, especially because it's outside of that normal 3 damage range. Speaking of 3 damage, we're also running Omen of the Third himself, Rule and Night Omen of Silence. We're running him primarily for the stats. On the 3-drop 3/3, you're probably not going to have Necromancy 3 by then. So you're essentially running him as a 3/3 in the hopes of like out-tempoing your opponent, because as a 3/3 on 3, he is overstated. And he has the added bonus of making Rune a terrible matchup, because you can like do back-to-back Ruinized late game and you just ruin their entire spell boosting strategy right now. So he's already a great card. He's made top tier just because of how rampant Rune is currently in this beginning days of the meta. The last addition that I included here was Goblin Fighter. Again, this is my own list, by the way. I did not net deck this. These decks in the first week are not net decked at all. This is just me experimenting with as many of the new cards as possible. I am a big believer in Goblin Fighter just because he kind of solves the problem of going first in a very low-key way. If you are going first, you do not need to lose your aggression. You can still drop a 2-power follower out there and also gain either a Goblin to round out like your 3rd turn, or a Goblin Leader, which allows you to get something great on 4 going first, because he generates an additional Goblin for you. So this is also very tempo-y, and I love it. I just love using Goblin Fighter right now. Oh yeah, how could I forget? Apostle of Silence. Now, this is probably Sarah's. You guys are probably saying, like, that should be Sarah's. Why aren't you running Sarah's? Well, I want to try as many of the Omen cards, the Omen packages. I don't think I can run the Disciple or the Servant of Silence, just because I think they are too weak. However, Apostle of Silence is very interesting because on 4-drop 3/4, he's not bad. As a vanilla follower, he's already not that bad. However, if you do get some either late game or on curve value by destroying a ward for essentially free, that can break open a game. So it's kind of like I'm taking a risk by running a Apostle of Science because I know that if he works, he just destroys the opponent's tempo. So I'm calling this mid Arcus Shadow. It's probably more accurate to say tempo Arcus Shadow, honestly, because a lot of my choices right now are all tempo cards, rounded up by Lady Grey, Fran, and all that. And of course, Gremory, the ever nerfed Gremory. I can't even vial her because she is that strong in rotation right now. And me as a rotation player, even with the vial bonus, I need all three of her. So yeah, that's the deal. But without further ado, guys, let's see how this deck does. Let's go. Alright, hold on there, past me. You forgot to do one thing. So this is a long time coming. There's just a little thing I've always wanted to do. And without over-explaining it, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Let's get that going. And yep, there you go. If leader Cerb won't come to me, I'm happily going to use my Seer's Orb on that. Okay, now we can get started. Alright, game against Dragon. Dragon is probably running full Disdain right now.
Come on!
Although it can be PDK. I think PDK Disdain is slightly more popular currently, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw PDK right now. I'd like something better than this because I doubt that I'll get the 4 by my turn 4, so I'd rather draw into something better, I think. Yeah, I'd rather draw into something better early. Yeah, this is theoretically something better. Because I'd like the Belness and then the Lady Grey I'll save for turn 4 instead. Now, admittedly, I haven't fought a lot of Dragon in this current rotation, just because I think it's a little bit more tricky to kind of figure out where Dao Mu really fits in this grand scheme of things, if that makes any sense. Because Dao Mu is good to just put inside a deck, right? No matter what, like just slaughter in. But I think a lot of people are trying to find a
rescuing people's a hobby of mine.
For Disdain package. So let's see. If I play Rule Knight here, then I just essentially run into the. Oh no, I can trade here and then play Rule Knight, I guess. That makes more sense.
Turn to ash!
Yeah.
That's it for now!
Monstrous.
Yeah. That way, he doesn't get the free trade for it. If he ramps, he'd have to use both the ramp spell as well as the White Frost in order to get rid of this. If he did get the Dragon Slayer sword, yeah,
Dragon Life Blade.
He wanted to be greedy. He's gonna use the
so
white,
cold.
the white whatever it is. White Frost,
You won't even believe
which gives me
Carries
tempo.
on.
That's totally fine because he's not even overflowing. So, what I can probably do, because I'd rather save this for later, especially because I'm kind of expecting the Poseidon.
Come, I'll love you down to the
I'm
bone.
gonna evolve this. And I'm gonna save this whole thing.
Don't
Belness the Shining!
I know I'm leaving 2 on the table, but I'd rather the bodies right now.
Burning flames will freeze.
He has to use the evil anyway. He's still behind on tempo, probably like half a step right now.
Never wake again. Never.
Let's teach you how powerless.
Sure. Oh, just to cantrip? Oh, that's good. He didn't use it on Galmi, which is great.
You won't even believe
Sure.
I'll be home soon.
Decay and shine!
Cold.
Lucky. This is pretty much Cerberus every single time. We have a Gremory to threaten.
It'll be fun! Bite 'em!
He can have PDK right now though.
Want to play?
which may or may not clear the board.
Okay. You all tired already?
Power is useless.
You can also play the enhance on Galmu and potentially again clear the board.
Wretched
Yeah.
place. I'll trample all over it. Get away from your place and fly beneath me. Big head for such a small piece. Are we done? Big head for such a small piece. Big head for such a small
Alright.
beast.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage on my end. That's for sure. Let's see. I kinda... I need to draw, that's for sure. Am I willing to spend the shadows for it? Probably, because I don't need the shadows at this point.
Why are you letting me
But let
live?
me soul convert first before I commit to anything. Because I might draw into a Belinus.
You
I did draw
finally
into a
did
Belinus.
it.
Yeah. I need to just use it, unfortunately.
This was dumb. You're dumb.
I'm not sure if I want to play the Belinus right now. I guess we should, because I don't want
I
to
am
lose the
Belinus
tempo,
the
theoretically.
Shining.
And we've already used up all of his stuff, so if he plays Poseidon, then he still has to Evo into it.
The currents are under my
In the name of the ocean.
Yep. Probably won't Evo into this.
Prepare
he
your
does.
soul.
He does.
My fury is one with the ocean.
Decay and
Okay. Let's see what we can do here. So Apostle doesn't really gain us anything here, unfortunately. It does allow us a wide board, however, he then deals 5 to us. And I think that's still our best play, unfortunately. Yeah.
Stillness in quiescence.
Lord Poseidon.
enemy sighted. Charge!
I'll show you.
Silence. Silence yourself.
Lord Poseidon. Change your plans.
That's probably like... This entire interaction is making me rethink of like Troph's Curse. Troph's Curse probably needs to be in this deck. In some way, shape, or form, because as you guys saw, the Apostle was not enough.
The currents are
Especially with
under
that.
my
In the name of the ocean.
Especially with that.
Come, I'll love you down to the bone. A special death from yours truly.
Yeah, I can't push.
Wonderful bone structure. Lord Poseidon. Lord Poseidon.
Yep. That's GG. Poseidon's really good.
I'm leaving.
I definitely need the Troph's Curse, because I can't get to this. Not normally, at the very least. So, note for the future. Alright, next game is up against Blood. So,
Mother,
there's only
Father,
one archetype that's
come
going on
on.
for Blood right now, and that's Dark
What's
Beast
the
Bat.
matter? Petrified already?
Everyone and their mother is running Dark Beast Bat right now. I kinda like Gramarye 1. Oddly enough for Blood, I kinda like Gramarye 1, especially if we run into an Alexandrite Demon. Yeah, I'll keep this. I'll definitely keep this. Alexandrite Demon is a very, very popular turn 2 for them, so that means that this just trades in for free. This Medusa looks cool though.
why you're gonna die?
And probably it's gonna be turn 2 Andre Alphas. Trade this into the Alexander Demon.
Oh,
never mind.
Go forth and cross your blood.
Sure. Yeah, I don't have an answer to that. Never let it run.
You're gonna die!
I'm sure it'll kill one of these.
Demonic, angelique, commandé. Go forth and cross your blood.
Yep.
Love is but an illusion.
That is a lot of damage, that's for sure. But I need something to soul convert. I'm gonna trade here.
Are you not single and or able to mingle?
Ah, that sucks. I think I'm screwed. I'm pretty sure I'm screwed out of this game. My only way back is Orthros.
You're gonna die!
Yeah.
Quit it!
Well, if I'm playing Orthros, I might as well play this.
Come! I'll love you down to the bone.
Because I don't think I can take advantage of the Evo. At the very least, I know he has to get rid of this.
Gaze into the crystal.
Yep.
Darling, I'll be home soon.
Saw that coming.
Demonic, angelique, commandé. Go forth and cross your blood.
Figured. This gets rid of more.
You
I think I just need damage control at the moment.
Back to the friend zone.
Feel the flames of the underworld. You're going down in flames.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Back to the friend zone.
An azure befitting
Yeah, this is weird. I'm playing from behind. This is a tech card, by the way. Just in case I don't say it in the intro, this is a tech card for Portal. It doesn't do a lot of good right now. I might use it to like transform something with into a fallen angel with drain and then recover my life that way. But yeah, he's getting a lot of triggers for Dark Feast back right now, which is scary.
That hurts!
Interesting that he trades down. Don't really have a choice.
Wanna play? Come on, it'll be fun! Bite 'em! Scratch 'em! Want to play? Okay, y'all tired already?
Cannot let that stand.
You're mean! My eye burns with scorn. We'll rip you to pieces! You're the truly evil one here! Are we done?
Okay. Let's see. Apostle doesn't do anything here. Yeah, no. Apostle is a dud right now. Oh well. Make the best of it.
I am Feminist the Shining!
I'll show you! Contemptible scum!
Yeah, he probably wins this. I would assume that he wins it.
Quit it!
Like, there's so many things that could be. Dorman can. The one thing that this counters? Okay. Sounds good to me. Alright.
And
I'm
shine!
good with that. I'll take counters, why not? I'll take the hard counter. That might have propelled us to kinda have a chance?
Love is but an illusion.
Alright. Time to trade here.
Are you not single and or able to mingle?
I can probably just get rid of this. Yeah, it's probably better to just get rid of this with these two. I think that makes more sense. No, I can't play them both, so yeah, this is better.
A special death from yours truly.
This was foreseen.
Alright. That also enables me some better draws as well. Forgot I ran out of board space. What can you play here though? We're still not out of the woods yet. We just had a pretty good hard counter against Jorm. Again. Well, I'm just gonna trade this in, I think, and then play Arcus.
You're gonna die.
Deal 1 down to the enemy leader. I'm down to 11.
You're gonna die. Are you
Isn't this a wonderful program?
Get as much damage in as possible.
Enemy sighted! Charge!
I'm coming. Detestable. Quit it.
Alright. Now it's very possible that I die to the Dark Feast Bat. Very, very possible. Oh wow!
Not losing the next one.
I got lucky. Like, I definitely got lucky. I only have 1 copy of FFG
I did it. I won.
in my deck, but damn, that went the extra mile there, didn't it? Alright, next up we have Haven. So,
Mother,
this is a match
come on.
that theoretically
Is
Apostle should be
fighting
good.
and despair all
Because
you know?
DLF is pretty rampant still. So, ideally Apostle should be good. But we'll see. I think I'd rather substitute out the Fortress for something else here. Because on turn 4, there's not a lot of targets. I think they probably do. Yeah, I'd rather this hand. On their turn 4, there's not a lot of huge followers that would be Fortress unless he's running repose. Like completely repose. So, we'll see. This is experimental right now in terms of mulligans. So Belinus, Skull Ring, or Rula Knight, depends. I actually might roll against this, huh? If it's against this, then I'd rather Skull Ring. Because that's more
I
annoying.
am Belinus the Shining!
I'd rather save this until I have the Necromancy, which may prevent him from playing the Holy Lions. Forbidden Teachings. No reason not to attack there, I think. Because he has more to worry about than I did. And I'm gonna recover the life from Lady Grey anyway, so... Yep.
Decay and shine!
Okay. Then Rula Knight's gonna come super handy here. Because that'll prevent this board flood on 2 separate turns. It'll make the Holy Lion stuff cost 3. Genesis of Legends totally fine. I'm willing to trigger Lady Grey, pretty much.
Come, I'll love you down to the bone. Hush, little baby.
I am
Don't.
Belinus
Wonderful
the
bone
Shining!
structure.
Legend having... Probably will just have him trade for me, huh? Hold on. Let me think about this. I kind of want to do this first.
Wonderful bone structure.
Yeah, I kind of want to do this.
Stop!
Okay, cool.
No!
Then next turn we can Lady Grey into Rulanai. Or maybe even Andre Alphas into Rulanai.
Darling, I'll be home soon.
Yeah, next turn we stop that entirely.
You were done for.
Probably this.
Decay and shine.
Cool.
I am Felonus the Shining.
Come, I'll love you down to the bone.
Want to play?
Hush, little baby.
I am
Don't
Felonus
say
the Shining.
He has to run his own stuff in anyway. So I'm not gonna bother running my stuff into him. Because he needs the space. That's the disadvantage of running his stuff right now. He has to run
Darling,
his own
I'll
stuff.
be home soon.
The world carries on.
See? We run Rulanai again probably, but I think at this point I'm gonna rush him down. Yeah, at this point I'm gonna rush him down. Yes. Okay.
The world must be saved.
Sounds like a solid plan to me.
Turn to ash. Enemy sighted. Charge! Got me feeling hungry.
I'm gonna go full on. I'm gonna take a
I'll
risk
show
here.
you.
Melt. Turn to ash.
No!
I'm gonna take a risk here. If he plays Jean, then you can call it like I lose. But I wanted to take the risk there.
My sword will
Okay, it's
live
not.
through legend.
I had to read it wasn't Jean.
The legend will never
100
die.
prayers and 100 punches! The real battle begins. The word of heaven is
The
true!
legend will never die.
Time for
The
discipline!
legend will never die.
The world carries on.
Gets Rush. Probably just needs. Wow, okay. He's not. Great. I think that's game. 3, 7, 10. Yep.
A special death from
Top deck
your
winner.
tomb.
Give me that.
Top deck winner. Yeah, that's the power of Rulanai. That's why Rulanai is good. It hoses some matches. It doesn't need to hose every single match, but it will host some matches,
I did
including
it!
Holy
I
Lion.
won!
So it's a super great auto include, I think. As conditional as tech card that he is, his stats more than make up for it. Like a 3-3-4-3 is so good, and it only has upside from there. So if you can, definitely include him. Alright, that's it guys. So there is my first version of Mid Arcus. Honestly, I think there was one thing apparent in all of those games, and that is that this card is way too narrow. I'm sorry, it really is just way too narrow. Like, I'm sure that there will be times where this card will blow something out, But every time I've had it on 4 and there was a follower there that didn't have ward, I'm like, well, I can't really use it. I would infinitely, 10 times out of 10, would rather have Ceres rather than Apostle of Silence. Just because, like, even against the Poseidon play, right? If I had Ceres there, at the very least I would be recovering 2 life. So he couldn't exactly just leave it alone. But yeah, Apostle of Silence, I definitely gave it a solid try. There were 2 matches that he just didn't work. I don't think he is that great there. Other small tweaks to the deck that I can see. This may become a 2 of, and I don't know what I would remove to make it a 2 of, because this would be Ceres for sure, but I don't know what I would remove to make that a 2 of. Skull Ring is always great. I love the tempo that this kit just generates, like Skull Ring, Lady Grey. It's so good because you get to keep reusing your stuff over and over and over again, and when it's Belness with his like top tier trading, it all adds up. Or you can even get back Andre Alphas, right? Goblin Fighter, I think, is good. He didn't really shine. He shone in a small way in one match where, like, I got the Goblin by accident, or by chance, I should say, and was able to trade even better on the board. So, like I said, this card is unassuming, but he does grant you those small wins, especially because Wooded Brambles is no longer in rotation. But the next time this deck comes out, I might try replacing him with something else. The final version could very well have Goblin Fighter on it, but I want to try stuff like Legendary Fighter. Actually, probably not Legendary Fighter. One of the other Silence cards, I want to make sure that I factor in other Silence cards. I may try running the whatchamacallit, the one that grants a Shadow as Fanfare, although I'm not really too big of a fan of that card. Kind of mess with those 2 slots. But I think those are the only flex slots I can see right now with the deck. Otherwise, the deck is pretty fine-tuned. A lot of people are already factoring out Fran just because they think that between Fran and Ortrus, like, that's a lot of damage space removal already. I do not agree with that because I think Fran is still one of the best silvers that Shadow has right now. The amount of flexibility that she offers, and she offers a body for soul conversion, that's just too good. If I was running a deck that had Goblin rather than Soul Conversion, then I could see myself veering away from this. But for Arcus, I think that is a different deck entirely. I think she belongs on Arcus, but let's just say I'm planning another Shadow deck moving forward that does use Goblin. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and before we go, want to open a pack. I cashed in some of my Take-Two tickets earlier, and I got a single pack of Chronogenesis. So we are aiming, of course, always for Cerberus, although I've given up all hope in getting her, honestly. Yeah. So if I do get her, it'll be just in incremental packs like these. But otherwise, I don't want to spend $80 just trying to get her again. That's not a bad pull. Animated Nilpotent Entity and Pegasus Delon, that's some good vials as well as the Icarus, so yeah, not gonna complain. But with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. This has been Sora, and I will catch you guys next time.